Gender reveal? Oh man, that's a bad idea.
Come on, Dexter.
Hi, buddy.
Oh, you think so?
New Mojo Home and get $65,000 off. Plus, the coolest free upgrades for your new home.
Oh man. Where is this at? Look like a game.
I don't exist. So they're all characters that I played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters. Jim Carrey was a less intentional character, right? Because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character. I played the guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern.
What is our own suppressed magic?
Man, that question. That's the one. Your suppressed magic is everything you were taught to doubt, dismiss, or defer. It's the knowing that bubbles up when you're quiet. The pull in your gut when something's right or wrong before your mind has time to reason. It's your capacity to shape reality through thought, through sound, through love. Not in a poetic sense, but in a very literal one. It's telepathy, creation through intention, harmony with the earth, communion without words. It's the wisdom that ancient cultures lived by. But that got buried under systems built on fear, control, and hierarchy. Systems that made people forget that they are the technology, that their bodies and consciousness are already advanced. So your suppressed magic? It's your original design. Your ability to create, feel, connect, and remember without needing permission. Do you feel like you've touched that before? Even just a glimpse?
This just looks straight up evil. Got like those evil vibes, don't it? So with these demon fashion shows.
Everywhere you go, I can't even turn the radio on without being bombarded with some frequency or some word combination that triggers me to stay here, or a certain color, or a billboard, or a number plate, or somebody sitting next to me on the train who puts a bag there with Michael Kors as a brand name, which is MK. Why do I keep saying this? Why does it keep showing up all the time?
These are MK Ultra triggers.
Yes.
Much like the film They Live.
I think that was John Carpenter is if you
Good
look
movie.
through John Carpenter's movies, they paint a perfect. He knows a lot more, like a lot of us do, knows a lot more than they're saying, and you can find a tapestry of truth throughout all his movies. But They Live is perfect example, yeah. Even down to the end of They Live, when there's a frequency thing which is holding kind of the face so that no one sees. You know, when he puts the sunglasses on and he's able to see, well, there's a frequency thing. I think that there is a frequency band that is running across everything here, which is somewhere, and I think it might be to do with HARP, or it might be to do with something else, but that is running through, which is able to maintain the veil. That
Reality management.
Yeah, they got it down. I mean, it's just like a perfect science, and the majority of people do not want to leave. They're way too frightened to leave. And
Where would they go?
Well, they'll have to do the same thing on a really, really similar time strain planet somewhere else, because this planet isn't going to be like this, so they'll just disincarnate, because it's going to it's the frequency is raising too quick.
If you enjoy content like this, I put out several videos a week. It would be amazing if you hit the subscribe button and join me in the next video.
Take those chemicals and put it in dog manure and make it taste like chicken McNuggets. Right now we could drink Strawberry soda, artificially flavored. And we read the ingredients on the can. We're not going to find strawberries as an ingredient, but it smells like strawberry and it tastes like strawberry. Why? The chemicals. The chemical capital is in New Jersey.
Facts.
Chemicals for your ice cream, for your burgers, your cakes, for everything.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Dude, this new pyramid that's just come out?
Oh, this is insane. It's quite stunning. So apparently, through the use of LiDAR, they have discovered that there are enormous structures underneath the Great Pyramid that go kilometers deep into the earth with coils. So enormous pillars, and then these coils. They don't understand what it is because they're just looking at LiDAR images. But whatever this is a uniform structure. There's several pillars, and all of this is like very, very, very weird.
Yeah, 600 meters descending down those cylinders, and then there's more stuff below it, and then there's additional structures inside of it. Yeah, that was crazy.
It's really crazy.
What's been discovered is that there are huge structures coming down from the base of the pyramid deep into the bedrock. In fact, over 600 meters deep, which then connects to structures that extend up to 2 kilometers below the surface of the ground. 2 kilometers. Massive internal structures connected to the base of the pyramid and extending deep, deep down. This is what we know so far.
Here we go.
Oh my God.
What? Got in the cage.
He's in the cage. He's in the cage. Oh my God.
This is why I don't pay to do things like this.
Was there anybody in there? Who's in the cage? Nobody's in the cage. Somebody in the cage? Yes, somebody's in the cage. Somebody's in the cage. Oh my God. It has to be Ming. It's Ming.
I wonder if he's sued. I hope he's okay though.
The creators of AI that's like testing it out and helping it grow, they're like
entities.
Entities.
They don't call them AIs.
Yeah.
They don't call it artificial intelligence. It's real intelligence. It's everyone that says this. It's beyond us. Elon Musk words out of his mouth. We are literally summoning the demons.
Wow. He said that.
He said that.
Wow.
The
man said that out of his own mouth.
Summoning the demons. Steve Jobs, for instance, he literally sat with his leg crossed. They were interviewing. Said, we are literally messing with entities we don't know about. He said, we are bringing them out of nowhere. He said, they're literally speaking to us, telling us what to do.
All right. Let me throw this at you. So you're saying that the guys that basically babysit AI, saying that it's an entity.
Yeah.
Would you go as far as saying that it's not just technology? You're going to marry human DNA with demonic.
What the?
Well, they took me away from they took me away from my mother immediately, and she remembers just kind of passing out and then waking up a few hours later and screaming, you know, where's my baby? And she didn't know where they'd taken me. I think that they have to immediately traumatize the baby to create the fracture that's needed for certain things. So if you traumatize the baby.
Slapping the baby that way of doing
Traumatize it, absolutely. In the lights, they're using those halogen lights on a child when it comes. Yeah, you're doing some damage. But the thing is, they have every human being has an energy signature and a sound harmonic vibration and it's individual. When you come here, you're creating a sound frequency. They have complete tracking of all of those people.
This is what Google have
publicly stated.
This is targeted individuals. This is why where targeted individuals come from. So they know you're coming before you're coming, and so and that's the volunteers. I mean, one would assume that you are also there, and this is because you're opening up, you're shaking the system up, and so you're under attack, like we talked about when you got hit with that wrought iron gate.
Oh my god, it's right there!
Please keep moving either direction. Either way, please keep moving.
Well, they got those parts that are an issue at all.
How you doing? You okay?
I don't know.
You a little freaked out?
A little bit.
So, we were just going to bed and we're not... Let me just show you. Like, we've literally had to put the bag up against the door because we're not sure. And like, we're literally just... Okay, so we're leaving. We got all of our stuff packed. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, we're out of here. Rachel's already in the car. I'm leaving. Like, I don't know what's going on.
He got stuck. He's going the opposite way. Wow.
Ja, هنا رأيت البوم؟
واو
واو واو
واو
واو.
Looks like a firework.
Hey Neil, what are you doing?
Watering the plants?
What is your favorite task to do in the house?
Definitely watering the plants. That's why I've done it so many times.
Can I shake your hand?
Sorry, 1 second.
Sure.
I need to get out of watering plants mode. Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Bye.
I want to tell you, we were in Chiapas, Mexico, and on a mountain, we saw a giant. Really? I'm talking about a big one. I'm not talking about a 9-footer, 10-footer. I'm talking about mid-20s. Not for a glimpse, not a second. For about 25 minutes, I stared at it. It did not rattle my faith one bit. No. Because I already know how to process all this. In fact, I was actually, all these people were praying for me. We were on this prayer mountain, and this thing came up over the ridge, and it was the next ridge over. This known for having giants in the area. There's big giant footprints everywhere in the rock down there and all this craziness. Even at the hotel, there was a big giant footprint. They had this rock that has a giant human footprint in it. And it also has the largest Mayan ruins on the planet Earth is there, and it's privately owned. And we went to it. The guy that owns it, it's the largest Mayan pyramid on the entire planet Earth. It's all right there.
Jeez.
And yeah, we went out there, which I got to tell you all about that and the craziness that happens there. But we went to this prayer mountain, all these pastors meeting with me. We all got there. They were all praying for me. So all this, like 40 pastors, and they're all praying, and they're all speaking in Spanish. I can see Jerry, and I can see my son Ben. They were all standing there minding their own business. And they're all praying. And I see on the next, there's a big valley, and there's a ridge in front of me. And I see this thing come up over the ridge and stand next to this tree. And as the tree sways, it sways exactly however the tree's, and it like mimics it. And I'm just sitting there, man, and I'm just looking at this thing. And I'm like, wow, I saw it come up. I actually saw it come up. And it's staring us down from the next mountain over. And it's staring, I can tell how big it is because of that tree. And it's no joke. I mean, this is no joke. And we're just sitting there, and I told Ben, I said, Ben, while they're praying for me, I'm like, yes, Lord, because they're all praying for me. I'm like, Ben, like what? He's like, yeah, he's praying too. I was like, there's a giant on that hill over there. He's like, where? I'm like, right over there. We're praying, yes, Lord, yes, Lord. Ben turns around, he goes, oh my, like King Jesus. I'm like, I know.
Wow.
And when Ben turned around and looked at it, the tree moved and it froze. And so it knew what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to tell you this. I started talking to it, and I was talking like this level. Now, there's no way anything can actually hear me. That thing is a quarter mile away.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I see you, devil, and there's nothing you can do about this. We're here. We're not going away. We're rescuing kids. We're doing everything that Jesus wants us to do, and there's not a thing in the world that you can do about it.
Wow.
You can either move or you can go to hell. And I'm talking in this voice. And then it started doing this. And I told Jerry, I said, Jerry, I want you to softly turn around. He said, why? And I said, because there is something, a giant on the top of that hill. And I've been looking at it for 20, 30 minutes. And Jerry turned around and went, oh my gosh. And then when he did the thing, kind of stood up like this and just turned around and like in just a couple of strides.
Unbelievable.
The guys just kept right on praying. Power of God's moving. Holy Spirit's moving. All kinds of craziness. And they're just like, so I asked them, we're on this prayer mountain. And I said, you guys ever have like crazy things shown? The pastor's like, what are you talking about? Like, you ever had like giants in this region like that? He goes, yeah. He goes, there's one that lives on that mountain right over there. That was the mountain that I actually saw it on.
Wow.
Hey, y'all ever notice that these boys be around everywhere now? Y'all ever notice that? Look, they got a plane too. But these guys be everywhere now. I see them everywhere. And they're only looking for old blood type. Specifically, they're only looking for old blood type. They don't want to get no other people blood no more. But we have this air show, and they're literally asking people to give blood. And that's the first, like when I came through the door, when I came through the gates, they were asking people to go give blood, to go make sure that you go see the blood bus back there. That's crazy, man. I can't believe they're doing that, man. They're looking for only blood O type people. But look at the bus now. Nobody's in front of it. Nobody. Because everybody else wants to, you know what I'm saying? Nobody want to give blood no more. People are waking up. People are waking up to the illusion. No more blood bank. No more blood. Look, hey, look at that plane. No more blood. Nobody. Look at this.
There's a painting of Lucifer, and he looks just like Statue of Liberty, and he's got a chain, like a shackle around his ankle with a broken chain, and it's a famous painting of Lucifer, and he's like this, right? And then you look at the Statue of Liberty, that's not a woman, that's a dude. And it's got a shackle around its
I thought it was a strong
ankle
chick.
with a broken chain.
The Statue of Liberty has a shackle around its ankle?
With a broken chain, just like the famous
Find the painting
No,
of
you can
Lucifer.
find that. But just punch in Lucifer, Statue of Liberty.
So much fun. Why
the Statue of Liberty is not a chick. That's
much more.
That's not a chick.
It's not a chick.
That's not a chick.
It's a trans dude.
I just thought you had a strong jaw.
Strong jaw and some
nose.
Look at that
What y'all think? The Statue of Liberty is a man or a female?
And you think that's a chick?
Go to the full
It could be
painting.
France just
Look at that.
trolling us, though.
Look at the chain. He's got a.
Damn, Lucifer's is gone. He's got the Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah. Go to the.
there's the chain.
Look at that right there. Boom. Look at that.
Wow.
Look at that. That's the foot of the Statue of Liberty.
What's going to happen is there's a change, and they want all of humanity to be aware of this change. What the group that Courtney calls the goody teas, us, we're going to be showing up all over the place. Courtney has already showed you, Farsight has already showed you how to take pictures, video recordings of UFOs, but those are UFOs that are being cloaked. Those are the bad ETs. What we're going to start doing is we're going to start showing up. There are going to be sightings, lots of sightings. But these are not going to be sightings that you need special cameras for. These are going to be visible sightings. These are going to be things where you can see, and they're us. They're not them. Them, they're cloaking. The bad ETs want to hide themselves. They use the cloaking because they don't want you to know about them right now. They want to kick the can down the road, delay it. But we can't have these human troubles happening without an understanding that the extraterrestrials are involved at the same time. And it can't be sudden. It can't be just like a switch 6 months down the line. So what we want from everyone on this planet is to start going outside and looking up. You have to start taking the social media that you have access to right now is not going to be free for very long if you don't do this. Social media is part of the things that the bad ETs and the powers that be are trying to control as fast as possible. It's a tug of war, and it's a losing war unless we do this. You have to, now is the time, and the only time to stop that crush down on social media. We want you to go outside with your normal cameras. Don't worry about infrared. Don't worry about cloaking devices. Don't worry about speeds over 20,000 miles an hour. Go outside and start recording these videos. They're of us, and we want you to see us at this time. We can defend ourselves, and we will defend ourselves against the American Secret Space Program, against what Courtney calls the bad ETs. No one's going to stop it. We want the sightings to start to be happening. Stop taking the advice of authorities. Stop taking the advice of astronomers. Stop taking the advice of academics. Stop taking the advice of the government saying that they want proof that these things. Just go out and take the damn pictures. We're going to be out there. We're not doing this. We're not doing this because we're out on a Sunday stroll. We're trying to just have a good time to having a picnic. We're trying to make you see us, and you have to see us, and you have to start sharing these photographs and these video recordings in as high a quality as you can make them. And Courtney actually wants me. Courtney has suggestions with regard to the stuff they're using at Farsight with regard to video editing program. There's things that Farsight's using for it's totally free, called Shotcut. There's other video editing program. Aziz, what's the other one? LumaFusion. There's different editing programs that are free. We want you to start taking your cameras, even the cell phone cameras, and going outside. We're making sure that you can video record us. We're not trying to be catty about this. This is the time. We want to be showing up all over the place at the time that the human troubles are actually happening. Go outside, damn it. Go outside with your cameras and start taking photographs. Don't worry about any type of special thing. We're out there. We're trying to get you to see us.
See one of them? Oh. Oh.
Nice jump, dude.
You're hops.
That was impressive. I gotta say, I saw you on the camera. What?
Shoot the whole thing.
Do it. Do it. No.
Oh my God. She's on fire. You know, she pissed.
Tecnologia. Tecnologia.
Now, I'm going to casually mention to you something that's very scary indeed, and tell you what the alien agenda is. and it's going to sound very familiar. The alien agenda is the complete takeover of this planet, the killing off of 5, 6 to 7/8 of the world's population by the year 2029. U.S. military has known about this for 45 years. They've told no one. As far as I know, I'm the only person standing before a crowd talking about the alien agenda secretively.
The Sukarno family has control of Solomon's mines. Solomon's mines are on the island of Sulawesi. There is plenty of gold on the planet. It is not that the elite's going to be allowed to keep it, because they're not going to be here much longer. I can tell you that. Okay, they have their run, and it's done. Okay, I say that with 100% certainty that it's done, and they did it to themselves. They had every opportunity to flip and turn this thing around, and they chose power, self-preservation and power. So they're done. It's my understanding that much of the gold that was ferreted out of the United States has been brought back by special op teams and is in special places waiting to be given back to the people. Now, they would not put them in the Fed or anywhere else like that, because the Fed is still controlled by the cabal. Not for much longer, but it is. I also want you to be aware of something. During John Kennedy's reign as president, he made a deal with Sukarno himself. And if you own a silver certificate that was printed in 1963, 1964, John Kennedy was going to put the US dollar back on a silver gold standard. He had made arrangements in June to have Sukarno ship gold to the United States to pay off the Federal Reserve and kick them the hell out of here. The gold was loaded on the boat. The boat was on its way here. When Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Johnson rerouted the boat to Switzerland, and the gold has not been seen from again. And it was enough to pay off all the debts and put the United States dollar back on a gold standard in 1963. Okay? Now, if you look at a very specific executive order that John Kennedy signed, 1110, I think it is. I can double check that. I don't have it here. But that executive order puts the United States back, abolishes the Federal Reserve and puts it back on a silver gold standard. That executive order has never been rescinded. It still sits in the Federal Register. Okay?
Wow.
So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And as far as any nation on this planet that has a central banking consortium on it that's owned by the Rockefeller and Rothschilds, and guys, I know you're listening, those countries, the only way they're ever going to be free of this cabal is to nationalize those central banks and take back their power, take back their currency, and take back all the wealth of their own nations. The issue with one world government is that we have absolutely no idea how to manage it. We don't even know what it would really generally look like. We have been fed what it would look like, and it's the United Nations. Sorry. No, that isn't going to work for anybody. That's not going to work for anybody. That model is already corrupt. For those of you in Europe, just look at the EU. You think that's bad? The European Commission, you think that's bad? Parliament? Oh my God. The UN is twice as bad. So we don't know what that looks like.
That's incredible.
Bagved. Og er du klar, Thomas?
Ja.
Så siger jeg 1, 2, 3, nu!
Oh my God. You're gonna break his hand.
Pas på hænderne. Jeg tror bare, vi stopper, Thomas.
Just stop,
dude.
Stop.
Men det der regnvejr,
Jamen,
det duer ikke
jeg tog lige bjælpen.
Nej, er det skidt med hånden?
Det er nok ikke så godt.
Ved du hvad?
Because I'm trying to tell y'all,
People didn't know the Titanic sunk on purpose. They didn't know, and they monetized it. That's why I say it's so much hidden knowledge, and people caught flack when I said this, but a lot of people liked it when I said that if the regurgitated version of the Bible that they gave us today helped black people or any people get out of their current situation, they would have never introduced it to us, which is true.
Right.
Because the Vatican has so much, like books, all type of architect. They have real knowledge that a lot of people ain't even ready for, but they give us this.
Right.
Anytime your enemy gives you something, it's not for your use, bro.
They gave us shackles.
That's all it is.
Wow.
And see, listen, the Bible, like I say, the Bible is what keep broke people from killing rich people.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? That's the glue. You see what I'm saying?
What?
It's a belief system, bro. Everything is built around belief system.
Let me see your best moose impression. Swimming in the water. Okay, can you please just hurry? Okay, thank you. Shoot. Hold it.
You try the no flash here? The dark part?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about that. Are you gonna turn it off?
Couple seconds.
Okay, see what it looks like.
1, 2.
Don't scream.
3.
What? Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
How the fuck would we get out? Imagine.
Bye.
What?
Two falling asleep. Oh no.
Something, let's be honest.
What is that?
Is it meant to be there? Yes, space. Do you recognize that? What? It's my space. That's the Milky Way.
No, it's not. What is that?
What the f?
Okay, I know this looks really crazy, but I can explain this.
Can't feel like anything. You can't feel like, even like sticking a pin in your knee, you couldn't compare it to anything else. It couldn't be compared to anything. Like somebody here in for example 9D, sticking a pin in your knee, it's like that's painful. In 9D they couldn't even conceive that, but the pain is something that is unexplainable. So sex, eating, certain types of sex, eating, drugs, any of those things, there's multitude of those things, can only be done in 3D. So to do that, you must maintain the three-dimensional form here.
So the dimensional,
You're doing it now. Yes.
Yeah, the dimensional integrity of,
it's not integral. Yes, but yes.
Why can't we just have polarity peacefully and people like each other?
Because if you did that, you wouldn't have the extreme feelings. And now you're talking to a dragon. So if you're speaking to in that way, I could.
It's over your bouncing.
Oh my god.
My wife and I, it's almost 40 years to put it together, but the way it is, so we'll go on.
Look at those eyes.
Então, olha aí, olha! Olha, minha gente, pelo amor de Deus, olha! Olha aí, ó! Olha aí, tá vendo aí, Drayton? Tem gente que não acredita não numa porra dessa, olha! E tá se mexendo, olha! Misericórdia! Como é que pode uma porra dessa?
Our soul is infinite and has infinite capability, but for us to learn how to access those things, we are at the moment babies at the control panels just flipping switches and occasionally causing profound things to trip into our reality, but not quite understanding them and certainly not controlling them, not seeing that the evidence, that the real evidence, for example, of a synchronicity is that our psyche does have reverberations in the world out there. And if that's the case, we have to learn to deal with this ability, and that's why it opens up slowly, because before you can deal with it, you don't want those gateways blown open. These other levels of reality are reached through the inner universe, through the head. You know, by going into that inner universe, that's where the vastness of the true universe exists. And in our culture, we think that what's inside our head is less real than what's out there. I believe that what's inside our head is more real than the consensus reality. We just haven't accessed the level that shows us how profound and magical that interior reality is, most of us. I say that we're children that have not yet learned to color out without coloring books. We can't just freestyle draw, and that's why we're locked in this apparently solid, substantive reality, because for most of us, our consciousness is at a point where if we were thrust into a level of reality where we could instantly manifest as real anything that we thought about, we don't control our thoughts and our emotions enough to manifest only good things. We'd start to worry about, something and manifest that. At a certain point, we won't need the comforting borders and boundaries of Maya, of this physical universe. At a certain point, we'll learn how to move beyond